Don't be alarmed, I haven't really taken off my skin. This is makeup, believe it or not. I thought I'd get into the spirit for this one, so I started channeling my 2015 gaming YouTuber evil alter ego. This is my Darkiplier. Hi there boys, girls, lads, and twins, and welcome to another episode of the Spancake YouTube channel Halloween special, Halloween edition. This is the Halloween one. Catchy name, I know. So in my trapdoor video I said this line.
Top 10 trapdoor creepypasta.
Boney's eyes turned photorealistic and blood spilled out of them.
And one of my viewers who wants to remain anonymous for whatever reason, I can't imagine why, dutifully made me their own trapdoor creepypasta. And I've read one sentence of it and immediately thought that I needed to blind react it. Over on my Instagram I did a poll for this, asking whether you guys wanted it as a full video or as a segment, and then realised I needed a Halloween special, so you're getting it as an actual video either way. I'm gonna try to do the most genuine, dramatic reading of this that I can. Again, I have not read this before recording this, so I'm gonna see if I can keep that up. So this piece of literature is beautifully titled Trapdoor.exe, the most original name for a creepypasta out there, so you can already tell there's gonna be some quality content in this. It was a bright and sunny and normal day when I was scrolling through eBay. I was looking to buy Pokemon Silver or Majora's Mask, and I was really hoping they wouldn't be haunted. But instead I saw someone selling all of the episodes of The Trapdoor on DVD. I was like, oh my god, that thing from my childhood? Nostalgia, am I right? And my face went :0 like a soy jack. Shotgun to the mouth. It didn't end there though, because then I saw it was being sold for free. My eyes popped out of my head like a cartoon character going awooga, and I quickly bought it. However, in an ominous and spooky way, I got this weird feeling after I clicked buy. It was as if I was being watched, but I just shook it off as some random feeling and went to sleep. The next morning, the postman knocked on my door and I opened it. What was weird and kind of creepy is that he looked really pale, like nearly white, and had dark circles around his eyes, like a demon or a uni student. He had long black hair and juicy red lips with a permanent smile cut into them. But worst of all was that there was blood all over him. I figured he'd just had a bad morning though and brushed it off. Hello, he said in a way only a psychopath could. He handed me the package and laughed all evilly. I looked down at the package and went to say thank you. When I looked up, he was gone. Golly gee, Royal Mail must be training their employees to be super efficient with deliveries these days. Excitedly, I ripped the package open, paper and cardboard flying through the air majestically. But when I finally saw the DVD, I noticed that the cover didn't look normal at all. The official trademark cover was supposed to have Trapdoor in big letters and Burke looking thick as all hell as he stood next to Boney and Jot. However, instead, the DVD cover had been replaced with a crudely drawn doodle on a plain piece of paper. It looked like a demonic and frankly untalented 5-year-old had drawn it. It's my YouTube profile pic. The disc itself was weird too, because it was a blank DVD with Trapdoor.exe written on it in black Sharpie. I was like, what the flip, have I been scammed? But then I remembered it was free, and I didn't care, and I'm immune to capitalism. Popping in my DVD player, popcorn in hand, I pat myself on the back for being unemployed so I can enjoy every episode of this cinematic masterpiece in one sitting. More excited than I was seeing my wife walk down the aisle before she was my ex-wife, I sat in pure bliss, ready for the iconic theme song to play. However, it started playing in reverse and slowed down, so it sounded like Satan singing in the shower. Yeah, don't talk when the train's coming by, that's not gonna help. What the frick, I said out loud, because people actually do that when they're alone. And it's not at all for the convenience of the plot. Shaking off the crippling anxiety, I figured it was just a glitch and hoped that it would fix itself. Being such a huge fan of the show, I remember that episode 1 should have been titled Breakfast Time, but instead on the screen it flashed God's ego death. I laughed nervously, scratching the back of my neck cutely. I didn't remember the trapdoor being so crude. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a liberal, so I understand dark humor. But wasn't this supposed to be a kid's show? Other than that, the episode seemed to play as normal, with Druck crawling onto the screen and Burke strutting into a room behind him, caked up beyond belief. God, I forgot how curvaceous and endearing that blue blob was. I blushed a bright red colour and touched the tips of my pointer fingers together in a flustered mess. Next, Burke tells Druck to buzz off in his buttery northern accent. I usually despise the British, but there's something about Burke that makes him pull it off so well. He wouldn't dare tell me well, at least our schools don't look like Fortnite Battle Royale or have bad teeth. By the way, it is worth noting that the person who wrote this is British. Please direct all hate to the author of this work. Okay. He walks over to Boney, the camera zooming in on his white skeletal face, but then it froze. Do I have to read this next line out loud? Date bayo, I exclaimed, smacking the side of my TV a few times. But nothing happened, until 8.5 seconds later when an ear-piercing screech played. Boney's eyes turned hyper-realistic and blood spilled out of them. He screamed a screamy scream in his posh accent, and it was absolutely blood-curdling. I couldn't help but scream back at him in terror. The shot panned out and Chuck was suddenly splattered against the wall, dead with all his intestines on the floor, and they were also hyper-realistic. The trap door was completely open that led into a black abyss. Static could be seen all over the screen. Tren. Wrap it up, folks, I got a video to record. But Buck was nowhere to be found. My teeth were chattering in anguish at the thought that something might have happened to him. I wondered if the thing upstairs did this. That bastard. Oh my god, I can't believe I just said that. And the next line is no more Mr. Nice Guy. However, my expectations were completely obliterated when I saw Burke slowly walk onto the screen. It didn't even look like stop motion anymore. It looked so real, like I could actually reach out and touch him. Given he was covered in blood and holding a huge knife, I didn't really feel like doing that at the moment. As he slowly got closer and closer to the screen, red static began to appear, along with I am God flashing on screen every 3 seconds. After about 5 minutes, he was finally pressing his face right up against the screen, smiling a devious, insane person smile. His hyper-realistic eyes were now all black with red pupils and blood was pouring out of them. I shuddered. Hello there, Charlie. How did he know my name? He was breaking the fourth wall, speaking to me, looking right at me with his hyper-realistic eyes and mouth. He kinda reminded me of a YouTube show about an irritating fruit. No, that can't be the name. I can't seem to remember what it was called. I did this for you, he grinned Britishly. Bearing razor-sharp teeth, I killed Boney and Drutt and my master upstairs and everything down in the trapdoor. Heh, heh, so we can be together. His eyes twitched as he giggled and clutched his bloody knife like a yandere. Oh my god, did he really feel this way about me? I blushed a little, but then I remembered he's a murderer and he just ruined my childhood. Don't you want to be with me? He whispered. I thought about it. No, never. You're a monster, I yelled at the screen, tears pricking in my eyes and threatening to fall. A monster, he bellowed. Nah, I'm not a monster. I am God. My TV exploded in a million pieces and my living room caught fire. Luckily, I ran outside before my whole house erupted into flames. I could already hear the fire brigade coming down the street. That's how big the fire was. They could see it from the station. I didn't even need to call them. One of the firemen asked me what happened, and I could only cry into his eyes, gripping his uniform passionately. He threw me off, kind of rude to be honest. After what felt like hours, the flames were extinguished, and another firefighter walked up to me. Everything in there is destroyed, he said. I looked at him sadly, devastated that I had lost my prized body pillow collection. Everything except this, he said, handing me something. And it was a plushie. A Burke plushie. With black and red eyes. And blood all over it. And this is where it ends. And that was absolutely blood-curdling. Now, if I really want to pick apart this classic piece of literature, the author here has clearly left the ending open and ambiguous. Either leave it open for a sequel, or to increase the fear factor and the fact that the main character might be dead. The reason why the author wants to remain anonymous is because I've been informed that this is actually a real thing that happened to them. And I know that's really hard to believe given how far-fetched this story is, but if you don't believe me, they've even given me photo evidence. They gave me a photo of Burke with blood pouring out of his eyes and a sharp-toothed mouth, the picture of Boney with hyper-realistic eyes and blood dripping out of them, and the I am God picture of Burke. And I know this is absolutely terrifying. If you want to stop watching now, I wouldn't blame you. I'm gonna have sleepless nights over this. I say this with the biggest amount of respect to the person who wrote this because I know them in person, but Jesus Christ, I've never been more pained to read something out loud. I had to read the word databio. I would like to jump in front of a train. However, I'm due a Halloween special video and I think this was perfect. And this is going to be a very short one, but I think having ended that tale, this is where I'm going to end the video. If you have video suggestions such as something like this or another deep dive, I take requests for video topics every so often on my Instagram, link in the description, or you can use the comment section. But yeah, that's it for now. I need to go wash all this off because I have places to be tonight. So as always, you're welcome.